the vibes are extremely off.
Yeah.
Also, Andy's full name is Candace Kane. Candy Kane.
I hate that.
Hello, welcome to Guides the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And what's that? Is it a reindeer on the roof?
Oh, I hope he didn't leave a pile.
Do I hear the sound of droppings? No, that's just another show dropping its own little bundles of coal.
Cancel the show. The show's canceled. We're talking about Christmas movies.
Yes.
We're famously, we celebrate Christmas, would you say?
I suppose.
I suppose. It's just the holiday that we grew up with.
Yeah.
We were going to, and it went wrong for me. Mm-hmm. We were going to watch like holiday thriller type stuff, right?
Well, specifically Hallmark /
cheesy.
Lifetime, yes.
Yeah, this did not go my way.
Right.
I have to be completely honest with you. Mm-hmm. This turned out to be calamitous for me. And so instead, what I personally have for you, I understand that, did you stay the course?
Yes.
Okay, you stayed the course. I deviated.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. I ended up...
You're the bad boy of podcasting. We all know that.
Everybody knows it. Everybody says it. I ended up, I think you could call it flailing.
Okay. All right.
Flailing wildly, looking for anything Christmas themed to bring to the table, and I'm going to share my journey with you.
Okay, great. Okay. I look forward to it. Now, William, before we even get to that, I'm kind of putting you on the spot. We haven't talked about this in a couple of days. Do you have a present for me?
Oh my God.
Okay, forget it. I'm sorry. We can edit.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do too.
Okay.
It's just upstairs.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, that's. I realized I should have mentioned it before we started. But
yeah, no, I should have brought it downstairs. It's not that great.
Okay.
Mine for you.
Do you want to scrap it? We don't have to do it.
I think I need a year.
That's
show me what you got. I am unimpressed with mine.
Let's explain.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So, in our oh, it got even worse.
Oh, it looks great already. Hold on. All right, let me give you the dud. Hide that. I'm gonna go get my shitty gift. You vamp to the folks.
Well, I'll explain what this even is. So
okay.
While you go get yours.
I'm gonna have to sneak past you though.
Right. Okay.
Make way for Fanny. Be right back, everybody.
I'm coming, everybody. Don't worry. I'm coming right now to explain to you what we're doing. Okay. So, in our family, there has been a tradition where we exchange just like the shittiest gift you can think of. It started with our dad and our uncle, like a million years ago. And then it kind of got transferred to us when we came of age and our sisters. And this year we decided to bring this tradition to you and do it on the show. So Will and I bought each other crappy Christmas gifts. Will had the idea to do this just a couple of days ago, and we're going to exchange them on the show. I got something that I think is kind of a banger. Will, I guess, is not so pleased with his, but I think that that's still worth exploring. And actually, it seems fortuitous that Will forgot his upstairs because he's here right now. And when he went upstairs, he also had the opportunity to do a wardrobe change. I know this isn't great for the podcast only people, but for the video people, what a treat. Hold on. All right, William.
That's right.
Come on in. Who's here?
Here comes Willie Claus. Here comes Willie Claus. I put on my my black and white Santa shirt. I have my crappy gift for you, but it's genuine crap. I think it's not.
Well, mine's not good. It's certainly crap.
I know, but this tradition deserves better, and I vow to you to do better in the future.
Okay.
I'm afraid to even look at yours. Did you find yours in a store legitimately like that?
What do you mean legitimately?
You didn't make
like
any
it?
modifications to it, did you?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna hand you yours because mine's the dud, and I think yours is gonna be the star. So let's get mine out of the way.
Okay.
Really.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my crappy gift to you. Mm-hmm. Here you go.
Okay.
All right. You can describe it.
All right. So this is, I think, a caroler.
I think so.
I think it's made out of paper mache. It kind of Yeah.
I hate the material.
Yeah, it's really...
The material was the first thing that caught the eye. It's very wrinkly. Mm-hmm. It's a caroler, but with a perfectly circular mouth with like red lips. It kind of looks like a blow-up doll.
I was about to say, it looks lewd.
It's broken, which I always appreciate.
Yes.
One eye is lower than the other. That's not part of it being broken. It's just... I think it's malformed, poorly designed.
Well, it's definitely DIY.
And so, the nose is chipped. I think it's supposed to be holding a book.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, maybe like a songbook.
But yeah, so now you must obviously display this.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's part of the thing, is that when you get it, you are supposed to display it for 30 days in your home.
I say we put them on the set.
Nobody does it.
We can put them on the set and then destroy them or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Great.
Okay. All right. I've already gotten a peripheral glimpse at Kristen's to me.
All right, William.
It's better. You've already won. If this was a competition, you've defeated me handily.
All right. So, this is how I saw it. Okay, now it's right. The glasses were in front of its eyes. This is how I saw it in the store.
Oh, it's horrible.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's horrible. Wow. I assume it's supposed to be like maybe you hang it on your door.
Yeah, but the thing is, the attachment for, I guess, hanging on the door is basically like a keychain ring attachment, which makes me think like, so this could be a keychain?
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Crap. It's a Santa head, everybody, but the hat is falling off.
Right.
Revealing just the face, and Santa's eyes are wide and bewildered.
Like, what happened to him? It looks like somebody just smacked his ass.
I am not sure what's coming out of his forehead.
So here's what I think.
He's got like a horn, but it looks like a valve.
Yeah.
It looks like Santa had some sort of a medical procedure, and now he's got this like vent.
Also, look at his little mouth
on his head. Yeah, look at his little mouth.
Is that his little tongue sticking out?
Ew.
It's very gross.
It's horrible. And like, there's like, I don't know, there's like shit in the hair.
Something I'm shocked by though with the hair is that it's actually pretty pristine.
Yeah, it's clean.
Very white.
It's very white.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's just got that like sort of like tendrily. There's clearly supposed to be like little trees or something. Oh, I see. There's supposed to be a little bit of mistletoe on his hat, but it ended up just getting kind of caught in his hair.
So here's what's going on with that valve coming out of his head, I realized. The hat is obviously supposed to be on his head. That comes through this little hole here, and you can see this little piece of mistletoe.
Yeah.
I think that was attached there.
Oh, the valve was structural for the hat and the mistletoe.
But that got caught in one of his ringlets, and it got pulled out.
So when the hat comes off, it just reveals that Santa has a tube sticking out of his scalp.
Right, and that's how I saw it. It was laying flat on a shelf like this. So just out like that. And I was like, "Ugh."
Horrid.
Now, Will, this thing has a special audio component that made it perfect for our show.
Excellent.
All right. I put fresh batteries in it and tested it. Please move this to the on position.
Absolutely, I will.
It's just that.
It's so weak. And
yeah.
It sounds like crap.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
Thanks.
Kristen, you really did it.
Thanks. I really lucked out.
Merry Christmas.
Look at him. Look at his freaky face.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, it's not great. Now, we record video, as I mentioned. So if you want to see these, you can go to youtube.com/GTTUpod. And I have to mention, I like what I'm seeing in the chat here. Jesse said, wait, if it's a competition and Kristen won, does that mean that Will has to watch a Lifetime movie or reality show?
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, no, Will, you have been pulling for us to do a competition again recently.
I have been, yes.
Is this that competition? Could it be? And then Bobby said hot frosty viewing party.
I think it's going to depend entirely on what you want me to watch.
I'll have to think about that, but I like the way you think, everybody.
Here, I think hold up.
This is like the only way I can win a competition because I suck at games, and whenever we do those competition shows, Will wins. So yes, I think this is a competition, and I won.
So I just blew it.
Yeah.
I shot myself in the foot. Well, to be fair, you also did get something great.
This?
Yes. No. The gift you got me.
Oh, yeah.
You got something great. You didn't receive something great. You received... I'm really disappointed in my performance.
Well, but here's the thing. It's not really just your performance. It's like It's dumb luck. You went to a store and this is what they had. I wouldn't expect
know.
you to be like trawling all over
Well,
the Uniques and Goodwills of the state. I wouldn't want that for you.
Let me tell you something. Now that this is a part of a Guide to the Unknown tradition, next year I will be doing it earlier.
Right.
And I won't be perhaps bringing Zoe, who just goes like, this is funny, and holds up, a cute Easter bunny, and then goes, don't you want to buy it?
Right.
I love my
Did you get
daughter.
anything for
very
Zoe
distracting.
the trip?
Not from Goodwill.
Yeah.
No, I got her something different. But, well, anyway.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen. I do think that you've defeated me. And
I think it's a congratulations to both of us because I did defeat you and also now you own that.
That is true. Yeah, I didn't really consider that fallout. Okay, you know what? I will shake your hand. I think that you have finally defeated me at something.
Being a great sport because it's like doesn't really count, but I really appreciate the suggestion, Jesse, that it's turned into this.
You may pick something and I will do it in the new year.
Oh, yes.
In the new year. In January.
Oh, yes.
January can begin with Kristen making a selection.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That means it's going to be some sort of trashy crap. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to watch, quote, trashy crap.
Yeah, awesome.
New year.
All right, everybody, get ready for some sort of reality something.
Holy shit. All right. Yeah. Well, all right, let's now talk about movies.
Yeah. Absolutely. But first,
yeah, of course,
we have to talk about sponsors or let them do it for themselves.
In a frosty commercial break.
Okay.
All right.
So this one's a tough week for you. Why don't you tell? Not only with the loss of the
this
gift competition,
Christmas.
But
thanks a lot. My Christmas is ruined. You had found a couple of movies. You may have won the crappy gift exchange, but you've, I think, failed me in trying to find a holiday mystery for me.
Okay.
You suggested that I watch The Christmas Diamond.
The Case of the Christmas Diamond.
The Case of the Christmas Diamond. And so I put it on. I had it on for, I'm going to be honest with you, I had it on for like 20 minutes.
Right.
All right.
Wait, let's explain. So what we're going to do here, Will is going to tell us about what he watched, and then we will switch, and I will tell you guys about what I watched. That's what's going to happen.
And I have some genuine holiday stuff, too. But it started with, because here's the nasty, dirty truth sometimes about doing this show.
Yeah.
Is that it seeps into my relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
So we've got the kids to bed, and it's, it can be tricky. And then you get time to like sit down and just be together. And I have to say to her, like, hey, I have to watch something. And it's invariably it's something stupid. We just got through Scaremuto. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like, we got to do some good. We got to do some. I know we've been like focusing on dumb stuff for a bit. We got to watch some good things.
In post-election time.
Soon. Yeah. In 2025, I'd also like to watch some things that are meant to be of a decent quality.
Sure.
But I was like, I have to watch The Case of the Christmas Diamond. Do you want to watch it? And she's like, yeah, I guess, and we put it on, and yes, it's kind of amusing. It's very Hallmarky. Did you watch this movie?
Yes.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't see.
That's what I thought we were doing for the show this week, so I watched it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, something's got to change. Something's got to pivot. We've got to improvise or something. Because I was getting nothing.
Yeah.
I would have called this a nothing burger.
Right.
It was somewhat amusing. This movie opens with, a family in this huge mansion.
Yeah.
All these Hallmark movies are about a bunch of Richie Riches.
Guess what?
What?
Okay, so I'm not covering it on the show this week because we actually talked about it in just kind of a roundabout way that I don't totally remember on Patreon last year. But there is a Christmas movie called Silent Night, Fatal Night. That's a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
That I watched last year. And I was able to clock from the office in this movie that it was the same mansion from Silent Night, Fatal Night.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done.
I couldn't believe it. I wrote in my notes, like, is this the same place? And I wrote to myself, the office walls have diamond inlays and then some floral carvings. And then I looked up stills from Silent Night, Fatal Night, and I was like, it's the same. It's the same.
Kristen, that's incredible.
And one of the actors was in both of them.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I do
talk about a detective.
I appreciate the Hallmark engine. That they make something like 30 Christmas movies every year.
Right.
Which Allie did the math and was like, that's like a Christmas movie every week and a half.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. But I like that. I mistakenly thought, I know I'm wrong now, but I still kind of can't believe how wrong I am. Mm-hmm. I was under the impression that at least a couple of those movies, those 30 movies they made, were appealing to the true crime mystery crowd. But they really are not.
It's like every once in a blue.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing. I was finding nothing. After I bailed on the case of the Christmas diamond,
William,
which is literally about a missing diamond. The movie opens with a woman going, my diamond.
Look, I'll be explaining the plot of the case of the Christmas diamond. It's even weirder than that.
Really?
Yes.
Well, all right.
But anyway, William, I had done all this research and combed through the Lifetime and Hallmark, and what I suggested to you was what there was.
Well, I redid your work and found that you were right. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. How is this possible?
Right.
Well, doesn't it seem like a no-brainer that there would be a murder mystery on Christmas that they produce one every year?
I would think, but I guess there's not a voracious enough appetite for it.
But crime is still such a huge well, whatever.
They have plenty of crime things on both networks, but just not the Venn diagram doesn't have a lot of overlap.
Well, I got to tell you, listen, I failed on multiple fronts because not only did I bail on the Christmas diamond,
right?
Allie and I were also like, well, why don't we watch something that's supposed to be good?
Right.
We're just take one night to watch something that's supposed to be good. And I started, this is the downside of one of the downsides of being married to me.
Yeah.
I start meticulously combing through, like, what are all the Christmas movies? What's going to be the best one to watch tonight? Mm-hmm. And like a half hour goes by. Yeah. I can't make up my mind. I keep looking at all these movies and I'm like, we've seen all these every year for the last whatever. And I end up coming up with like, well, what would be kind of novel and interesting for a Christmas watch? And so I said to Allie, okay, here's what I've got. Is there any chance you want to watch Batman Returns?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Which is the Christmas Batman movie, very Tim Burton-y.
Yes.
And then I said out loud to my wife, or do you want to watch Gremlins? Never mind. I don't really want to watch Gremlins.
Yeah.
And Allie was quiet for a couple of minutes. And then she goes, so my options are Batman Returns or not Gremlins?
Right. So I guess it's Batman Returns then.
And it was like somebody held up a mirror in front of me and I saw myself clearly for the
now, I gotta tell
time.
you, this is where having a TV in the bedroom really comes in handy, because Ryan can be watching one thing and I can be watching another.
Yeah, we don't really do that. We don't do that. But so anyway, we bounced on that. We ended up watching because I just put it on out of like desperation to make my wife happy. I was like, all right, something good that people like. I put on the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though I'm like, that's probably also another one that we watch every year, and I know I ended up laughing so much.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I don't know why. I was very Grinchy. I was very like, I can't find something that's appeasing this urge to watch a Christmas thing.
Right.
Like, I don't want to watch Scrooged.
Oh, I hate Scrooged.
You know what I mean?
It's disgusting.
And then I'm like, I should have put on the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Plus, that'd be more on theme.
Yeah, you're right. But National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation it still managed to make me genuinely like belly laugh every few seconds.
It's so funny.
I think I took for granted that I've seen these things a million times without letting myself sink into them. So I did eventually succeed. Yeah. But then I had to get back to the matter of what am I going to talk about on the show? Right. Because I can't sit here and tell you, about how great
funny play ball is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not going to work. Or how amazing it is when Eddie is standing outside in a bathrobe and jockey shorts, unloading his RV's sewage system. Yeah. And he says, "Merry Christmas, the shitter was full." Yeah. I can't sit here and tell you about that. Although I could say,
I wouldn't mind.
I wonder if you have this same memory. When's the last time you saw this movie?
I bet like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. You might be due for a rewatch.
Yeah.
It still had the juice.
Oh, I'm sure.
I had a very tactile memory that when they go out to go sledding and Clark Griswold is putting basically like nonstick cooking spray on the bottom of his metal sled. Yeah. That was the moment where we had to flip over the Laserdisc player.
Oh, amazing.
Do you remember things like that?
Oh, in general, yes. I don't remember that, but yeah.
It was almost like in the era where like people were copying their CDs onto their iPods, I would sometimes have a couple of albums that had scratches, and even the MP3 would have those same scratches in the tracks.
Yes.
And I would always know like, oh, this is the part of the song that has that.
Totally. There are songs that like if I listen to them on Spotify or whatever that I used to have on CD or whatever, that would skip or it would cut off right there. And I still am surprised when it keeps going.
Yeah. Like it sounds so clean. I had that feeling watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I was like, oh my God, I have to get up and flip over the laser disc. It was very enjoyable. I liked it. It just, the history of it all.
Yeah.
I liked it quite a bit. So then I got back to the matter of what could I really discuss with you that might be of interest to Guide to the Unknown. And something happened.
Yeah.
All right. I took one for the team.
Okay.
A little bit. I don't want to oversell it.
Okay.
I remember last year I brought this up too. I tried to show Zoe the Peanuts Christmas.
Okay.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
Because famously, a few years ago, we ragged on the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown or whatever.
Yeah, and like Peanuts in general.
Yeah, and just like it's like a bunch of children and jazz. Like jazz music over kids dancing.
Right.
Bad animated. I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't like this.
No.
And we got like a bad review. Somebody really did not.
We don't like Peanuts.
Somebody did not like our opinion of the Peanuts. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it again. So I started to show Zoe Charlie Brown Christmas. And before I even hit play, she went, I don't want to watch this. Can we watch something else? She didn't want to see it. So I watched it with Allie later. Kristen, what's your history with the Charlie Brown Christmas?
I don't like any Charlie Brown stuff. It's boring and boring. There was one, again, with Laserdisc. We had a Laserdisc of like the Peanuts go to summer camp or something.
Where they got lost down some raging rapids.
Yeah, and that was okay. But besides that, anytime somehow Peanuts were like foisted upon me, I was like, ew, get this away from me.
I know. It's just not for me.
No.
Apple pushes this thing like crazy. On Apple TV, they have a whole banner, like multiple images stretching across the screen. We've got it. It's here. If you're looking for it, Charlie Brown Christmas is right here.
William, people love it.
I don't know why.
I would
Sentence one.
I would say it's helpfully pointing people towards something that they love. It's also commerce, but like, people love it.
Sentence one of the Charlie Brown Christmas special is him walking over to Linus and going, there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy. I don't feel the way I'm supposed to feel. It's, whoa, I'm like showing this to a child?
That should have resonated with me. Every holiday,
it did,
I get in
adult,
a bad mood.
Yes.
I get in a bad mood at every holiday. I don't know why. It's the expectation of it or something. I remember unpacking this with my therapist. I don't like holidays.
Holidays are stressful.
Yeah.
And people have a lot of expectations of what's right and wrong, and you've got to be dressed the right way. And you might have memories of this from our childhood. You better be dressed in the right clothes, and you better not have that grouse on your face.
Grouse. That I don't remember from our childhood, but
I always had a grouse on my face, whatever that means, whatever I just said. There's as an adult, I can appreciate that in the Peanuts, they're children that are more mature than they should be.
Yeah.
But still, it's like showing this to a kid.
Right.
Like everything about it screams, this is for children to watch. And Zoe's got it. In an era, listen, we grew up obviously in a time where you watched things live on television until Dad got Laserdiscs and back to the wrong media like every time. But so I didn't, until I watched the Charlie Brown Christmas special, I think I've taken for granted the fact that no longer every year am I scrolling through live television and finding myself against my will exposed to random parts of the Peanuts Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Or A Christmas Story, that movie. I have not stumbled across a random scene of A Christmas Story in years now since we cut the cord.
I've seen a little bit of it.
Really?
At Ryan's dad's. I hate it.
Hate that movie. It is not a Christmas vibe. It is a sick film.
It's absolutely sick.
It's sick. But I did willingly put on the Peanuts Christmas.
Do I like any Christmas movies? I guess I just like the Muppets ones.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kristen, you hit the nail on the head. That was my issue.
Yeah.
I don't really like these movies.
Yeah, I really only like Muppet Christmas Carol and A Muppet Family Christmas. Those are the only things I can think of.
And I'm saving Muppet Family Christmas for Christmas Eve. We're doing that, right? We've watched that every few years now. At the end of the Muppet Family Christmas, in one of the editions, the credits roll and a news reporter's like, stay tuned for the 11 o'clock news.
Right.
Should doomed babies be donate organs?
It's like, God.
Huh? You couldn't wait to announce that that's the lead topic on the news tonight until after the Muppets are done?
And it's after that 10-minute long song.
Oh, that song is so long.
Oh my God.
Good times, sweet times.
But it goes on.
So long. I really felt Grinchy. But that is why I also somewhat related to Charlie Brown, as shocked as I was. I'll read it again.
That's what I'm saying. I get it. That is I get it. And I can actually see that having appeal for kids. I rolled into my own whole thing, but I have always felt that way. So I could see how, I guess not me, but I can see how other kids who may feel that way too could be like, yeah, I feel that way.
It's just so dour.
But for me, it did not click.
It's not. Now, here's the other thing that I would argue is that back to the Muppets, right? I think that Kermit often struggles with fairly mature emotions as well. I could imagine a situation in which Kermit is like, I don't know, Miss Piggy, I don't feel the holiday spirit. And he really has to confront that. But something about that, their instincts of how to represent complex emotions is a little more palatable than, there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy. I don't feel the way I'm supposed to feel.
Right.
And then I wrote, they have a lot of shots in this thing that really know how to linger.
It's just like that with slow piano.
And then Charlie Brown gets the tree. Famously, he gets that shitty tree, that little tree. And a girl says, boy, you are stupid, Charlie Brown.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then Linus tells the story of Christmas and they put a spotlight on him as he essentially recites from the Bible. It's like,
ew, you watched all of this?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
How long was it?
I wanted to turn it off, and Allie kept going you're gonna turn it off? I just kept putting things on and turning them off, and putting them on and turning them off, and I was like, all right, you're right. I'll stick.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Ugh. I wrote, I have to basically punch myself in the face to stay awake. Yeah. It was 9:30 in the morning, and I ended up falling asleep watching some of this stuff.
Did you actually?
Yes, I literally did. Yeah. And then all these kids decorate the shitty little tree, but suddenly it looks like a perfect little tree. It even has more pine needles on it.
Oh.
And I'm like, that sends the wrong message.
I was about to say, that's not the right message.
That's not the point.
No.
The point was to see beauty in something that is otherwise
you make the
not
best,
fitting the ideal.
You make the best of what you have.
Right. No.
Yeah.
At the end of Charlie Brown Christmas, they essentially transform the tree into a normal tree.
Come on.
And then it
here?
ends with them all singing "Hark the Angels Sing." Glory to the newborn king.
Look, I know it's a Christian holiday, but come on.
Can I just say, the way that we're doing Christmas around these parts, I don't want to get into a whole thing. Listen, it would be against my own best interest to get into a whole thing. We're doing this is a pagan holiday. We got a tree.
Yeah.
What does the tree have to do with anything in the Bible? We're doing a secular.
Yes, this is a secular Christmas for a Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah. I worship trees all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Love a spooky tree.
Of course.
So what if I put a little tinsel
round.
on it?
What's it to you?
What's it to you? Get out of my house. Yeah, I don't need to hark the angels sing. So anyway, then we bounced and I ended up, I thought I found what was essentially a Hallmark movie that nobody knows about or something.
Uh-huh.
It's called 7 Women and a Murder.
Oh, right.
Kristen, it was awesome.
Uh-huh.
I'm wrong. It's not a Hallmark movie, P.S.
Yeah.
It was just a really, really, really fun Agatha Christie-esque mystery.
Oh, good.
This was an Italian film.
Was it Christmassy?
Yes.
Oh, good.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend it, to the point that I'm not going to spoil it or even say much about it at all.
Yeah.
I'm purely going to recommend that people check this movie out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on Netflix. 7 Women and a Murder. Came out a few years ago. It's an adaptation of a play, and it literally is, at the bare premise, a family is getting together for Christmas. Unbeknownst to them, the patriarch of the family is dead upstairs.
Ah.
And so the entire play is just these women. They are they're like 3 generations of women. So it's like the man's mother, and then his wife, her sister, and 3 daughters, and then some twists and turns that get involved. But it was so much fun, and it was sold online as like having Knives Out vibes, and it totally did.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. Did not see the end coming. The end is potentially problematic.
Okay.
But greatly enjoyable. 7 Women and a Murder as a Christmas murder mystery.
Sweet.
Was a thumbs up from me.
Oh, awesome.
Much better than Law Order SVU, season 14, episode 10, Presumed Guilty. I decided to, again, throw myself at the mercy of our audience and was like, listen, why don't I watch something that's definitely not for me?
Yeah, right.
So I heard all about chomos and the whole bit.
They definitely didn't call them chomos.
Oh, they sure did. They were using chomo.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Get out of here. I've watched like a million episodes of Law and Order SVU.
Yes.
I had never registered the term chomo until, all right, maybe it's just that I just
Until
don't
I
hear
watched
it.
that clip?
Yes.
No, I'm telling you.
And they said chomo again in this episode. Was it the same guy?
No. This was an episode from 11 years ago, 2013, season 4, episode 10, Presumed Guilty. It was touted as being one of the few Christmas episodes. I would
season
say
4. Okay, I probably...
Season 13.
Oh, okay.
It was Christmas for about 3 seconds. And then and then a priest gets beat up, and somebody's like, now, did you hear what were the attackers saying? Did any of them use words like chomo? And he's like, what?
Oh my God.
What? No. Why? What? The whole thing is just this twisted web of...
I could 1,000,000% be wrong, and I just gloss over it. I feel like you have somehow found the 2 episodes of Law and Order SVU where they use the term chomo, because I swear to God, I had never heard, never.
Well, I'm winning the lottery over here. I had this thing on, and I was like, whoa, this show is messed up, man.
It is messed up. It totally is messed up.
This is not for me.
Oh, my God.
This is not for me. And then I put on episode 1 of the Mistletoe Murders. I'm done.
Oh, okay,
I'm done.
yeah.
I don't want to talk about my Christmas
I did watch the
anymore.
Mistletoe Murders.
My Christmas was a calamity.
I liked the Mistletoe Murders.
Christmas is ruined. Thanks a lot, Guide to the Unknown. Struggling to find something. Struggling desperately.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is that you got out of the case of the Christmas diamond.
I mean, it's not like I got so much out of it or anything. It was watchable, you know?
I just don't see it, man.
Yeah.
I do not get what these movies have that holds anyone's attention. These Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I will tell you about it, as well as a movie called It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder.
Yeah, you kept me from this
on
one.
Lifetime.
That was the one thing that
It's worse.
was murder.
No, but it was worse. The Case of the Christmas Diamond was better. And I will tell you a little bit about the Mistletoe Murders.
That's bleak.
Yeah. But first, we need to make sure you know about patreon.com/GTTUpod. This is where you can go to get our entire second weekly podcast, The Netherworld Dispatch, that comes out every Monday. And if you join us at our Demon tier, you get access to all of those episodes. We also have another number of other tiers that you can join, where you can get episodes every other week. You can get them every month, and you can just check out our tiers, see what works for you, and jump aboard. When you join our Patreon, you can also get access to our movie commentaries for the Twilight movies, Blair Witch movies, Scream movies.
The Twilight movies are vaguely Christmassy to me. I wonder why that is. Is it just snowy?
Maybe. I don't know.
Sometimes just seeing a movie with snow in it is
totally
enough to do it for me.
Yeah, for sure. And we also have a Discord that is totally awesome and a delight. And you can actually get access to just that starting at a $1 tier if you want.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, go check out Patreon and yeah.
It's fun. It's easy breezy. It's effortless to get into. Do it in a
Yep.
browser. Apple likes to gouge you on the price if you do it in the app.
Yep.
But yeah, go sign up. The most recent episode of the Netherworld Dispatch is episode 192, titled Life-Giving Liquids.
That's such a good title.
Kristen and I were on an episode of American Hysteria with Chelsea Weber-Smith, where Chelsea was telling us all about beyond belief fact or fiction and where they get their stories from, how they decide if they're true or not. Highly recommend. Go check it out. I mean, I recommend American Hysteria anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
It's so
effectively
good.
part of the crew.
Yes, Will does a ton of voice acting on American Hysteria. It's
do.
so good.
But it was fun to really chat with Chelsea, and Chelsea found, I mean, crazy information.
Oh, my God.
But so we watched some of the clips that we mentioned in the American Hysteria episode on this Netherworld Dispatch, Life-Giving Liquids. I mean, what? Whatever.
Robert Stack. Jonathan Frakes in a voiceover, or somebody in a voiceover, is like, they just have a little intro to clips and they say stupid stuff. And he's like, nurses are accustomed to patients who rely on life-giving liquids to nourish them or something. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Right.
I'm drinking stuff every
All
day
right.
these days.
Yeah, I suppose they would be accustomed to that.
Yeah. Oh, it's pathetic.
Yeah, it's
But the show is outstanding. So
Yeah.
go check that out. That's patreon.com/GTTUpod. I will also say that as we get to the end of the year here around the holiday season, if you go to patreon.com/GTTUpod/gift, you can still buy a subscription for a friend or a loved one. Get them into the world of Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah, and people have been doing that, which is so cool.
So cool. All right. I've also got a review for us. I love reading reviews on the show. This one comes to us from Liz Newt, titled My Favorite Show. I love this show. It is well researched, typically. To editorialize outside of what I'm doing this week, that
No, you
might
did
perhaps
just
is true.
fine.
Well produced, and Will and Kristen are fantastic. I think I've listened to the whole show at least 3 times, and it never gets old. I love the topics, and I love Will and Kristen's particular brand of humor. Guide to the Unknown has a huge back catalog of main episodes, as well as an amazing Patreon that also has tons of content. If you're looking for something new, please give Guide to the Unknown a chance. You definitely won't regret it. 5 stars.
That is so nice. Thank you
Wonderful.
so much, Liz. Oh my God.
you.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you love the show. Thank you for listening repeatedly. That's so awesome. Thank you to everybody who leaves us reviews.
Yes.
That's really huge. And if you haven't done so yet, we would love it if you did. So yeah, you can do that on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. If you listen on Spotify, we'd really appreciate it if you left us a 5-star review.
We're approaching 500 stars. I would love to hit the 500 stars.
Yeah, that would rule.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, everybody out there who does things to help the show.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it. It's genuinely helpful. Honestly, it's a morale booster like you wouldn't
Yes,
believe.
it really is. So thank you so much. It's like, it does a lot for us.
Yes. I also want to say very quickly, we've been in a sort of transitory period with our recording schedule. Right now, we've been sort of recording as we can. It's the end of the year. It's a little chaotic. You've got a new job. But I think hopefully in January, we're going to settle into an easier to predict schedule of when we're recording new episodes. We record still on youtube.com/GTTUpod. I love live recording with everybody. Thank you for bearing with us as we work out a new schedule, but we should hopefully have a more defined recording time at the beginning of the next year.
Yep. And we will make sure you are all aware of it.
Yes.
So we're going to roll into some commercials now, but after that, I will tell you about the crap that I watched. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So stay tuned now on 3. 1. Okay. Commercial break.
Okay. So the case of the Christmas diamond.
Yeah. Let's discuss.
Okay.
What did you find in it?
I don't know what you think I would find. I mean, it was an enjoyable enough Christmas mystery.
You don't require bigger stakes for a mystery these days. I'm
for
missing
something that
diamond.
I'm watching for an hour and a half for the show that at least it has something interesting for me to talk about. No.
It did? What was the thing that was interesting to talk about?
All right.
Because I didn't get to that part.
Okay. So the plot of this is that there is a group of people who are gathered in this like rich lady's house. And it's honestly, it's just so weird. That's what there is to talk about. So they're all gathered there. First of all, the plot of it, if you look online, it says like blue collar worker Andy, is accused of stealing this diamond. And then in the course of the movie, it's revealed that she's a barista with a creative writing degree.
Yeah.
Blue collar worker.
I mean, is that technically true? Like,
I know. I was thinking, I guess because she like works with her hands.
but you
or
don't
something.
think of her, you wouldn't define that. It doesn't give the image of a blue collar worker.
No, but I guess it's all relative because she's staying with like the extremely wealthy Kenilworths or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like there for the weekend. And or at least overnight. And the lady of the house, whose name is Margaret, is like, oh, we're going to play a game this evening. And they're going to play this game called Whodunit, which I had never heard of before, except for in Only Murders in the Building. It seems like it's a similar sort of game. It's like a card game where there are different characters on all of the cards. Remember that season with Cara Delevingne? Like last season, where they're playing a game and then all of a sudden it's like a flashback to the 70s kind of.
Yeah.
They're playing a game.
Yeah.
It was like that game. And they're about to play it. And she's like, the winner of this game, it's all confusing. She's like, the winner of whoever wins this game, which seems to be objective in some way, will be winning my Christmas diamond.
Yeah.
And she like displays the diamond, and I guess it's the Christmas diamond because it's a diamond, but then there's like green and red stones around it.
It did not look impressive to me. Did it look impressive to you?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about diamonds. I mean, it'd be foolish for me to be like, the clarity was quite poor. But it just like in terms of like cinematic storytelling, it wasn't
like huge or anything.
But it was like clumpy. You know what I mean? Like,
it certainly wasn't like the baseball diamond from The Great Muppet Caper.
Boom.
That's like my standard for an impressive diamond.
Again, the Muppets are cinematically more interesting to me than most like normie stuff. And the Muppets are pretty normie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
That's an impressive diamond.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a big piece of jewelry with a bunch of shiny stuff on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I will let our guest Andy decide the winner. And Andy's like, me? I don't know if that's a good idea or whatever. And then something happens where, I don't know, they're just like, it's a bunch of people bickering. It's maybe like, I would say total 9 guests or something. And there's some sort of bickering. And then that rich lady's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm actually not going to give away the Christmas diamond. None of you deserve it. You're all a bunch of louses or something like that. And,
she's the louse, by the way.
She's a total louse.
When Andy first shows up, this I hated. Did you ever have this experience with like your friends and their families when you'd go to their house and it would be like culture shock? But like Andy shows up.
Yeah.
The mama does not know that she's staying over for Christmas or whatever. But instead of being like, oh, I didn't know you were staying. Okay, well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure you're comfortable. The mom turns to her daughter, Andy's friend, and is like, she's staying here?
Yeah.
She's not staying in my guest room.
Right.
Like not even looking at her or acknowledging her. Good for the movie. I mean, they wanted this to be uncomfortable, but it did give me like, I've never had exactly that experience, but like that sort of like a parent and a kid, your friend and their parent talking about you in front of you. Right. And what you want. Well, does he want something to drink?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I mean, I'm right here. You could ask me.
So uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable. Yeah, this woman is horrible.
No, she's terrible.
Yeah.
So she's like, so now nobody's getting the Christmas diamond because I think you all suck or whatever. And it's like, oh, the vibes are extremely off.
Yeah.
Also, Andy's full name is Candace Kane. Candy Kane.
I hate that. I hate that. There was another thing where it was like, was it the Mistletoe Murders where her name is like Laura Lane or something, and it's like.
I don't think that's in the Mistletoe
Misty
Murders.
Lane. Something
Her name's
something
just
that
Emily
like,
Lane.
Emily Lane. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Lane though. Lane doesn't in A Christmas Story. It feels very like walking in a winter wonderland.
Yeah.
Like it just is so too perfect.
That one's a stretch though.
I don't know. It still hit the ear. But yeah, Candace Kane or whatever is I mean, admittedly abysmal. And
in the captions it shows that Candace is spelled so it's like Candy then CE.
Oh really?
Yes.
Ugh.
It's ridiculous. And one of the other guests is an author named Jackie, and I just thought it was worth mentioning that she wrote a book called Mayhem Molasses. It's so ridiculous. And wow. I think that she only literally eats cookies. Like she doesn't ever eat anything else in this entire movie. Because at one point when they're at dinner, the server sets down a full plate of cookies in front of her.
Yes.
At dinner, and then a little bit later the brother bets the sister that after dinner when there are past desserts going around that she will ask for milk and cookies, and she does.
Yeah, they're like bet money.
Right.
I bet you she's gonna ask for milk and cookies.
And then it's like a thing for the whole rest of the movie. She's just like always going after a cookie.
That's
so I think she only eats milk and cookies, this woman. which can't be great.
No, she's going to die.
No, it's not good. So later that night, they're pretty much all gathered in the room still, but the power goes out. And when the power comes on, oh my God, the Christmas diamond is missing. Oh no, what's going on?
The movie opened with her literally with a flash forward to this moment.
Well,
my diamond is missing. The Christmas diamond.
Here's the twist in this movie for me, which is it is so stupid. It is such a and it's not played like a twist, by the way. It's just, to me, it's like, why the hell did they do this? The Christmas diamond has gotten back like immediately.
Really?
Yes. So they realize the Christmas diamond is missing, and they're like, oh man, what's going on? And Andy is like, okay, why don't we search everybody's rooms? Because it had to be one of us here. So if we search everybody's room, we'll find out who stole the Christmas diamond. And so she and Jackie, the author, they're basically like the main detectives of this movie. I should speed it up because it doesn't really matter. They're the main detectives of this movie. They're going room to room. I guess there's another actually like not nice lady who's doing this too. And the not nice lady finds the Christmas diamond in Andy's room.
Right.
So now everybody's like, oh my God, Andy stole the Christmas diamond. So the Christmas diamond is found like immediately.
Within minutes. Yeah.
And the rest of the movie, or like most of it, is like figuring out who stole the Christmas diamond. And at this point it's like, well, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? It's back.
Right. Like, what are you going to do? And their version of stakes are that Billy Baldwin is going to be coming the next afternoon. And if they don't figure out if Andy and Jackie don't figure out who stole the Christmas diamond, who's not Andy by then she will be given over to Billy Baldwin.
He will own you now.
Right. So there is a weird little device that's using that whodunit game where somebody is leaving clues for Andy or taunting her. We're not sure. Andy will go to sleep and she wakes up and there's a whodunit card on her pillow that'll be like the thief.
All right, I'm down with that, yeah.
So it's called, so at first blush, you're like, oh, they're calling Andy the thief and saying that like they saw her. They know that she's the bad guy. But she's like, I'm not the bad guy. And we as the audience don't know if she is or not, basically. Like, you kind of don't think she is because she's the main character and stuff. But like, she could end up being the bad guy. And this keeps happening, that she wakes up and there's a card there. She gets out of the shower and there's a card there. And she usually uses them to puzzle out something and get closer to the answer of who it is. So at one point she's like, actually, I don't think these cards are taunting me. They seem to be leading me closer to who the thief actually is. Oh. So this card lever seems to be helping me along.
Weird.
What is the deal here? It ends up being because the person leaving the cards is her like friend who only eats cookies, Jackie.
The author?
Yes. I don't know why she's doing that rather than just talking to her, because they're like basically like in cahoots as detectives together.
This is where it's like, this is like a
No, it just like doesn't really make...
It's a non-movie.
It just doesn't really make any sense.
Because they have to make another one tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. In the same place.
But how can this be economically advantageous?
I don't know.
What if you made half the amount of movies and you spent twice as long thinking about them? You'd still have a shitload of movies, but they all might be of a better quality.
I don't know. Well, first of all, I just realized I didn't mention this. This is not a Hallmark movie. This is an Ion original.
An Ion original. Yeah. Listen, I won't turn down Ion money.
Right.
Let me be clear.
Right.
But it doesn't scream prestige.
However, it is still made by the same production company that made the Lifetime movie I watched next.
Oh no,
it's beginning to look a lot like Murder. because I watched It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder right after I watched this. And so Look, now I have like a murder board at home because I remembered that High Rise made both of these. I noticed that the setting was the same between this and Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's a whole thing going around where all of these guys are intermixed.
Your experience with this is the only thing giving me life. I thought this was a home run for me.
Right.
I thought...
No, William, you got to go a level deeper. Of course, this movie isn't like good, but you gotta... Or at least, look,
I require bigger stakes than the diamond is missing.
Of course. And
I'm not at a point in my life where the diamond is missing is enough to drive an hour and a half.
Of course it's not. Me doing this shit is.
Yes, you doing this shit is correct. This one is it just did not work for me.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
I'm not just watching the movie purely. I'm going beyond.
You clearly have gone beyond. The fact that you're seeing the Matrix on this shit. Yeah, something wrong with you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you. All right, I'll tell you the wrap up, and then I have a couple of just kind of like extra movie things to say about it. Basically, there's just like a bunch of stupid shit that's like, this movie is made for like dum-dums or whatever. They basically haven't thought about it. Like they're supposed to be like locked down in this mansion. There's nothing that's making them. It's really just that like Margaret, the head lady, would like yell at you if you left.
Don't you dare leave.
Yeah, it's
till
like
Billy Baldwin gets here. Till Dad shows up.
It's exactly that. Like, so, Andy is getting these notes on her pillow, the whodunit cards, and they're in an envelope. And she's like, oh my God, the typewriting on this envelope had to have come from one of the typewriters in the house. And it's like, yeah, right. Cause like everybody is locked down here. So this is no big discovery, but they like treat it like it's a big discovery. Just like little silly things like that. The whodunit cards are like kind of a fun little thing. Yeah. She ends up figuring out that it was the lady's half brother, and it's not super interesting, the machinations behind it. She did some detective work that is somewhat clever. And the way that she reveals it, this big grand thing, that's kind of funny because like they're treating her like she has this gravitas of like unraveling all this, and she's doing a whole like Benoit Blanc thing of like, your business was failing and she didn't know it, so yada yada. Right. But she like doesn't have the juice.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of amusing, and she has now, which doesn't make any sense, she has placed her own whodunit cards at everybody's place at the table where she's like unveiling this whole thing. And they pertain to their situation. So that would imply that she has drawn these up somehow, and they look exactly like the cards that she has been receiving. It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't connect with something that you're not supposed to care about while it's on.
I know. I've told you, I just can turn off like that part of my brain. Just be like, this is what they are doing, and that I'm supposed to accept, and so I will accept it while I'm here.
Are you supposed to have this on while you're like walking in and out of the room?
I think kind of.
What's with that?
I don't know.
What's with that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think there is something to the fact that you were saying, even though this is an Ion original and not a Hallmark, it's crazy that they make so many of these.
Seriously, you'd still have a ton if you made a third of them and spent more time on them.
So they must be doing some sort of study about how it doesn't really matter what you do. I guess.
Yes, absolutely. But how disconcerting is that?
And that
do you remember we read there was like a review of a Ghost Adventures episode that was like, I was watching this while I was changing into my pajamas, and I missed half of it, but it was great.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's a whole world of viewing something where you have like one eye open and one eye closed, and like you fall asleep partially. Like, it's just, I have a hard time.
I find it kind of a relief to be able to turn off my critical thinking brain watching stuff sometimes. Just be like, all right, they want us to not care about that, so I will not care about it.
Yeah, maybe I might be being unfair. I think I do that with other things. I think I don't do that with movies and shows. I think I do that with like a video game. Yeah. My conscious mind will be disconnected as I'm doing Tony Hawk shit.
Like, I'll ask the question to myself, how is she created these cards that look like exactly like the cards that she received from an anonymous person? I go, I guess I'm not supposed to care about that.
I get you.
So anyway, it ends up being this half brother who is the bad guy from Silent Night, Fatal Night, and he's the bad guy in this, and it took place in the same house that he was the bad guy in Silent Night, Fatal Night.
What?
So I got a kick out of that.
What? What's going on? In Silent Night, Fatal Night, did someone die?
No, but they were tortured.
That's worse.
No,
that's worse.
No, but
to be tortured.
Yes, that one's more hard edge. But like I said, I talked about it last year on Patreon.
That's a hardcore.
It's like a Misery parody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the conclusion of that. I did find out something that's genuinely kind of interesting in a Guides the Unknown way through watching this movie, because they mention this weird son who's always wearing turtlenecks and has like the same haircut as me. Which is to say, not really a haircut. I'm just growing out my horrible retro pixie cut from like a year and a half ago. But anyway, he tells Andy that his mom makes this spiced ale every Tibbs Eve. And I was like, what?
Tibbs Eve, was it?
Yeah, what the hell is Tibbs Eve? So I looked it up, and this is pretty much verbatim from Wikipedia, sources in the show notes. Saint Tib is a character appearing in 17th century English plays. The character is a loose-moraled woman and was used for comic relief. The word was also used to describe a wanton person or something. And basically, let's see. In jokes and plays 4 centuries ago, Tib often referred to a girl with loose morals. So there was no Saint Tib, because that wouldn't make sense. And therefore, no Tibbs Eve. So to say that something would happen on Tibbs Eve was to say that it would never happen at all. So Tibbs Eve was a non-time. If something was said to happen on Tibbs Eve, it was unlikely it would ever happen. So, it's like saying it'll happen when pigs fly.
Yeah. It'll happen on Tibbs Eve.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, sure. I'll get to that project on Tibbs Eve.
Right. So I guess somehow Tibbs Eve got associated with Christmas. It will be on Tibbs Eve. Neither before nor after Christmas was something that was said in a play. It got associated with the 12th of Never, and I don't know, somehow got lumped in with Christmas. And so people talk about Tibbs Eve around Christmas. And so that's why this lady makes spiced ale around Tibbs Eve, which, by the way, I don't believe at all, because that woman would never make spiced ale.
She doesn't make shit.
No.
Except for rude faces.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Snide comments.
Now, I didn't even mention Billy Baldwin. He was barely in this.
Yes.
Which was very disappointing.
Yes.
He was in at the very beginning, and then he does come in to investigate.
He acts very suspicious, though. He acts like he's going to be an overbearing detective throughout the whole thing, but I smelled a rat.
Yeah.
Because he was only there for a day. Yeah. Tops. He was there for an hour. It's like, I'm going to have to keep an eye on you, won't I, Candy?
Now, did you think his voice sounded like exactly like Alec Baldwin?
It did.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird.
A real sound-alike. So yeah, he just comes in and does that. And also something that really annoyed me in her big reveal thing was that Andy's big reveal of everybody was that part of the thing was that it turned out that one of her children, the father they grew up with was not the father that they knew. And she was like, yes, because Margaret was slumming with somebody below her station who she wouldn't want anybody to know about because he, was like blue collar or something. And then they never explain who that is.
It's obviously...
Yeah, totally. But they never, ever address it again.
That's bizarre.
It was very annoying to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I really pushed it on myself. This was not a good idea to watch It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder immediately after this, because while I do enjoy these movies, not one after the other. So I did not like It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder. I don't think that I would really like it in general anyway, but I think mainlining them like that was not a good idea.
It's not good for you.
No, it's not healthy. And I think that
these aren't made to be seen.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't think they're made for a movie marathon like this. Yeah. It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder seemed a lot more promising to me because it has murder in the title. And it's Lifetime, and those movies seem to, in my experience, have more of an edge, unsurprisingly, to them than Hallmark movies do.
Yeah.
And this one was a lot more slow moving, even if it did technically have a little bit more of an edge because somebody's murdered and you see their dead body.
Yeah, I require that, though.
Yeah, this woman named Aunt Tippy falls down the stairs.
Aunt Tippy.
She walks in on something. That's the beginning scene. Is this like lady coming inside and she sees an elf, or not an elf?
She sees an elf. Hello, Aunt Tippy.
There's a gnome.
Time to die.
She has like a ton of like little gnomes decorating everywhere, and one is out of place. And she's like, "What are you doing out here? Oh, you need to be put back." And she opens the door to her basement, and she's gonna put the elf back, and then she sees. We don't see them, but she's looking at somebody down the stairs. She's like, "It's you!" And then she's like, "Wah, wah," and she falls down the stairs and dies. And you just like see her face like, and then it's like, it says It's Beginning to Look Like a Lot Like Murder, and it's just a black screen with just like a serif text, like nothing.
Yeah.
And then it's this very slow moving again.
Well, because it sounds like she wasn't murdered.
No.
Sounds like she died accidentally.
Yes. And it ends up... And
maybe she might have been murdered had that person gone up the stairs.
Right.
Sounds like she fell to her death by mistake.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. But I guess it was because of this person. So what it ends up being is this girl who I guess is from Degrassi, who owns a small business. They never specify what. They mention her business like a few times and how she's an entrepreneur in San Francisco, but they never say what her business is, which I thought was very funny. And she has an assistant, but they just never say what it is. It's so goofy. She like is Aunt Tippy's like beneficiary or something, so she has to go back to her small town. And she uncovers that somebody has been stealing Aunt Tippy's Christmas Village pieces because it turns out they were very valuable and selling them on this like Christmas Village black market in town.
In town?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And even though that sounds like kind of campy and fun, like on paper, I'd be like, oh, that sounds kind of fun to me. It moves like glacially slow. And it's really not interesting. Eric Roberts is in it, but barely, which I'd been looking forward to seeing him because he's a fun actor. He plays this lawyer who she like consults because he's Aunt Tippy's lawyer who can like talk about her will or something.
They tricked you. These people have, you've successfully fallen into their trap. They get Billy Baldwin for an afternoon. They get Eric Roberts for 5 minutes.
The Eric Roberts thing I wasn't shocked by. I kind of figured it would be that. Billy Baldwin I thought would be more present because... it seems like you'd have the time. Not that Eric Roberts doesn't, but
he had the time.
He's a little bit more successful. He's barely.
At least he was in The Dark Knight.
Yes, he's really barely in it. And also, this was from like 2022. I think he has since gotten his veneers adjusted. He had a fresh set of chompers that were so distracting. It's him. The only time he's in it, he's in the same room the whole time. It's just his law office. They definitely had him for like 2 hours. And it's just him being like, it's just, I don't know. It's just very funny. He's just like, well, yes, Tippy did stipulate that in her will and blah, blah, blah. It's just like an easy day for him. So anyway, she's just figuring out that somebody had been stealing from Tippy and that Tippy's death maybe is suspicious. Maybe somebody did something to Tippy. And she tracks down who bought these pieces of the Christmas Village, and they finally tell her that the old lady who they bought the pieces from had a burn on her arm, and she realizes that Tippy's neighbor, who had gotten close to Tippy in the last year, loves to cook. So she goes to the neighbor's house.
Kristen, I'm dying.
And she goes to the neighbor's house. This is the last part, and it was probably... it's a little funny. She goes to the neighbor's house. The neighbor realizes the jig is up, and the neighbor grabs a knife and starts chasing the girl around her house. The girl does the classic running up the stairs instead of out the front door. The old lady knocks her out with a gnome or something. And then the girl like comes to, and she's duct taped to a chair. And the woman's like, I wish it didn't have to come to this. Whoa. I didn't want to have to do this or whatever. And I guess before this part, they are getting into a fight for the knife, like, and I was like, come on, this woman is like 75. You are like 30. Like, there is no way you could not overpower this woman. It was the best part of the movie by far. I like came alive for the first time in an hour and a half. It was so funny. The struggle that they had. I was like, please.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
And then it ends so quickly. Like, the girl is able to like scooch her phone out from her jeans behind her because her arms are like tied behind her, and she calls the cops, and they're able to hear her saying like, why'd you do it, Marissa, or whatever the lady's name is, Brianna, I think. And the cops are like, oh my god, this girl is at Brianna's house and she's the killer. And the cops just come and get Brianna, and that's like basically the end of it.
Oh, it's like a normal,
like
the police come and solve it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, it really did sound like it was cooking with something when that old lady's chasing her with a knife, and then for some reason hits her with a gnome.
Finally.
Why didn't you stab her with the knife? Did the knife get knocked out of her hand?
It must have. It must have. Right? Yeah, because they did have a struggle where the knife is between them, and they're both like, and I'm telling you, this is like a 30-year-old girl and like a 75-year-old woman.
I'm thrilled.
And there was nothing to indicate. Look, I was paying attention, even though it was. Well, I probably faded a little bit, but like there there was no line where it's like, oh yes, Tippy and I went to Taekwondo together. Like
Right,
this
yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah.
normal older lady.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason that she would that
Let me
would
ask
not
you
be able
this.
to.
Do you think that you're definitely stronger than a 75-year-old woman?
I think I am.
Okay. All right,
I
very
think
well.
I'm stronger than that 75-year-old woman. She was just like a skinny, normal lady. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
think I could use my heft at the
Yeah.
very least.
Uh-huh.
Just like momentum wise. I'm like
Right.
260 pounds.
Their bones are said to be quite brittle.
Right.
Yeah. I hope to never find out.
Yeah.
But
of course, I'm not looking to, but
Prize fighter.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think I could handle her. So
Dynamite.
yeah,
Dynamite.
so that was that. Eric Roberts' wife was also in it. I found out doing research afterward.
That's nice.
She was that girl's mom who was on vacation in like the Bahamas and would occasionally FaceTime her. So he definitely shoehorned a role for his wife in there as part of his contract, which I appreciate.
Listen, honestly, good for them.
Oh, Todd, that's not an insult.
Good for them.
I loved that when I found that out. And then the last thing I'm mentioning very briefly is what you watched a little bit of as well. I got a Hallmark Plus trial for the Mistletoe Murders, and I liked it. I'm going to keep watching that.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it.
It did have a slightly more pizzazz.
Yeah, I liked
It
it.
had a little more style. It had a little more energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I still found it to be fairly sedate.
Yeah.
Even though it was ostensibly the very thing that I've been looking for. A Hallmark-ish.
That's actually Hallmark.
It's literally Hallmark? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I think they may be figuring out what I thought they'd been doing
Yeah.
for a decade or more.
Well, it's
They need to produce at least one murder mystery a year.
I guess they don't.
They
Maybe
really
nobody
need to.
wants this. It's based
I think
on
they do.
It's based on an Audible original podcast.
Okay, cool.
Which I did listen to, like falling asleep. And I found it a weird mix, which I totally get. I know that cozy mysteries are a huge genre, and a big hallmark of cozy mysteries, as we know from Coco and Yum Yum, is remember Dad?
Yeah, I remember Dad. If that's your question.
There were these books that our dad read where there was this detective, and then he had two cats named Coco and Yum Yum, who I guess helped him solve mysteries.
I guess. I don't know. I couldn't decide if that was an example of him not being very discerning and just
I would say
if it
that's
was
the
a mystery,
only-
it had merit just by being a mystery.
Yes, I think that's the only like mystery like that Dad read. But there's a whole genre of cozy mysteries, which like a huge hallmark of them is like honestly the person solving the mystery having an animal that they're like super duper into.
Yes. Yes.
And anyway, this podcast on Audible was weird. I liked it though. It was like mysteries but then just out of nowhere, it was what's her name? Like Kobe Smulders or Smulders or whatever. From
Kobe Smulders.
Yeah.
Kobe Smutters. I've never heard the last name Smutters. Smutters. Yeah, I'm Mr. Smutters. I'll be your substitute teacher. We hate
God.
you, Mr. Smutters.
We hate you. She would just be like solving mysteries and like owning a Christmas shop or whatever and doing, I don't know, pretty just like fairly normal like mystery book stuff. But then just every once in a while she'd be like, I need to go home to like Jackson and Doyle. You're my little babies. Yes, you are. And it was like, whoa, what? Clearly they just need to appeal to the cozy crowd here.
That happens in the show too.
Yes, exactly. And it was just very
Molly was losing her
tonally
lunch.
weird.
Look at
I'm
those
sure.
cats. Yeah.
I'm sure. But it was I will say I've heard that people say that they like Hallmark stuff because of the setting and it being really beautiful. And I got that watching this. I was like, ooh, I like this town.
But it was all very like Fincher-esque, like green tinged. Like they made it.
It's not.
Sure, it did. Maybe I'm thinking of a different program then. There was something they like had like a filter on it that made it like a little like nauseating. And I was like, your setting is interesting, but you're going for like that cinema filter or something.
No.
I thought this was fine. I thought this was fine.
I liked it. I'll totally watch it.
I definitely needed something a little more deadly, and the fact that it was a show made it a little tougher to consume for the holidays for me. But I'm at least hopeful through the Mistletoe Murders that, because I was so optimistic coming into this, where I was like, we're gonna have Hallmark. We'll do every year. We could do a Hallmark murder mystery, but they don't do Hallmark murder mysteries. They do the diamond is missing and I'm falling in love with a baker. And
we're done.
Yeah, it's done. We've covered them all.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that maybe Mistletoe Murders will see them set up this trend of if you're making 80 movies a year, let one of them be a murder mystery. Come on.
I hope so. Hopefully it's successful.
I want something playful. I want... Don't laugh at me. I want somebody who's like going down a long stone corridor and the cell that they're trying to visit is at the end of the hall on the left, and they turn.
And Santa?
And it's Santa in there. And he knows everyone who's naughty and nice, right? And so they need Santa's help to catch the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
Yeah, that...
I would love that. Are you kidding?
I had that image in my head. It's like Santa standing where Hannibal Lecter's supposed to be. Still standing like chest out. That's great. I
would love that.
I dream of that future.
Yes.
Maybe someday that'll come to pass.
Maybe.
But until then, I really had to fight. I had to fight my way into some Christmas stuff.
I know. I'm sorry.
I listen. I admire your resolve. I bow down to your greatness, and of course, I crumble before the crappy gift you provided.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you everybody who listened. We hope you enjoyed this. Happy holidays to you all.
May they be brighter than mine.
That's right. That's right. They're about to be bright. We'll watch some Mups.
Yeah, we'll watch some Muppets.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll be back next week. I do not know what we'll be talking about just yet exactly, but it's going to be a good time. Follow at GTTUpod on all social media. We're on Blue Sky. We're on TipTupper. We're on the ZAM network.
Oh, yeah.
Go to patreon.com/GTTUpod to support us and get access to the Netherworld Dispatch and our Discord. The entire community opens wide. We'll see you next week, everybody. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld, go we.
Back to the North Pole.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
What's that sound? Huh?
Droppings on the roof. Plop, plop.
You know, I left cookies for Santa overnight, and I think Rudolph left something for me in the middle of the living room rug.
Hey.
Merry Christmas to me.